So I did this whole video on my other Instagram account and realized I wasn't on this one. So I'm back over here on my Sprouting Chef's Instagram account. Hello everyone. I'm sitting in the middle of the Forest Grove School Garden, and I'm just finishing up a work bee. All the kids and families have just left, and I just thought it would be cool to check in and show everybody what ended up growing after the videos I made in the spring planting this garden. I'm now like sitting right in the middle of it, and when I was coming up today, and what I was talking about on my other video is the idea that when we are manifesting, so manifestation, and what a big word to teach kids, right? But there is something about understanding the difference between manifestation and true manifestation, which is what I was just learning about in these last couple of days. And what was an interesting thought was true manifestation is allowing your true self, your soul, what's really trying to emerge or evolve for you to become, that idea of becoming. Glennon Doyle talks about it. Brené Brown talks about the idea of becoming. And so one of the questions I posed to the kids today when they came to the work bee, I had 4 kids, was if you were a seed and you were planted, what would you want to become to give? And we have around the garden all these words of virtues, right? We have trust and patience and love and compassion and forgiveness. So if you were a seed, what would you want to grow into that you could provide to others? And I think it caught them completely off guard. Not many of them knew what to say to that. They were more interested in the actual plants, which was fine. But for me, I was imagining being a tree and being a sapling, because I want to be able to be flexible and be able to move if I need to, and reestablish myself somewhere else if I have to. And the kind of flowers I'd want to have on there would be these amazing borage flowers. I'm just going to turn my camera around and show. Borage flowers are blue and they're like stars. There's one right there. I don't know if the camera's going to focus. Nope, but that's okay. And I would want to provide shelter to people, and I would want to be nurtured with lots of love and respect and patience and trust. And behind here, so this is our asparagus bush that's totally grown out, but behind that is the cherry tree that we planted in 2011, and it provides so much shade for the kids by the playground. We've got some kids playing there. But that's what I want to provide. So yeah, there's lots of things that are growing in the garden, and one of the things I think to challenge myself today and the kids was the idea that we're seeds too, and we're growing too. So quick little tour around the garden. Some of the things that the kids picked today: chives, growing really strong. We have tiny little strawberry plant that we planted from seed, and basil. There's been different people talking about how they've been having a hard time growing basil this summer, and they're probably taking basil plants from places like Costco and planting them in the ground, and they're not lasting. This is a good example of resiliency, right? These were grown from seed, so that's why they look really strong, because they've become resilient to all the different conditions around them, starting small, and that's how they get their strength. You know, they've been challenged, just like we can be challenged too. Tomatillos. Again, we don't plant these, they just grow back naturally because we don't get all the fruit, and sometimes these fall off, rot down, and they all grow back. Dinosaur kale, or lacinto kale, doing quite well. In and amongst more tomatillos and tomatoes. It's quite a jungle in there, and we might even have too many. Lots of these sunflowers though, and I tried to plant all the short varieties. Really, I did, but still they're quite tall. We have some bush beans. So I'm sitting where they used to be, this big giant bean archway, and that's missing right now because we didn't have the kids to build it. So there's a good thing to do instead is planting bush beans. So purple beans are an example of that, and they're ready. You could try to plant some now for the later on in the fall, but it's a bit of a challenge. We have lots of carrots and beets that we've picked. Post some pictures of that. They're kind of all finishing, I would say, and some beets aren't quite ready. But I would say the most happiest and colorful part, sorry, this is all cilantro. It's going to flower and then to seed. It happens a lot. I'm letting it go to seeds to collect for curry spice later, but this is what's cool. This is the wildflower pollinator garden that I had to replant 3 times. This is the example of patience, right? Where you try things, you wait, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you have to come back and fix it and try again. But it's always worth the wait. And I mean, poppies and sunflowers, the combination to me equals happiness for sure. And then we also have all this licorice mint going to flower. And this is exactly what bees love, these plants. You can see them all over. And they taste like black licorice. I'm going to dry this out and make it into tea. Actually, we're probably almost there. But it's hard to cut something like this back when the bees are so happy in them. We've got some overgrown onions in here. And we've also put some tomatoes, more tomatoes. Make sure this time of year you're really looking at your tomato plants and making sure all your sucker points are taken out. So anything in between the joints here that's growing, you want to take those out because you want to force all that energy to the flower and to the fruit so those grow. We've been doing some experimentation with watering with banana peels, fermented rotting banana peels because they've got the potassium and magnesium. Hopefully that helps. Stinky stink, but collecting in milk jugs, filling up the milk jugs with rainwater if you can, and then watering with that banana peel liquid fertilizer. We're trying that out. But a lot of people are talking about their tomatoes not producing much. They do need to be fed. So you need to find some kind of organic rainwater fertilizer, something that's water soluble, or you're putting the fertilizer in the base of the plant when you transplant it in so that the roots are getting it. Okay, yarrow is here, lots of it. That's why I think a lot of people consider it weeds. And then our blueberry bushes were donated from Garden Works. Our teens put these in the last work bee. We've got 3, and we have to keep in mind to be really patient with these because they won't produce in the first year. But we put them in with the wildflowers so we can water them really well and take care of them. So yeah, that was just wanted to do a little, I guess, vlog today to just share that kind of idea of manifestation with you guys, the idea of becoming. And it just made a lot of sense to me because that's what I talk about with the kids is we should be focusing on what we want to be, not always what we want to do. Because once we're being compassionate, once we're being loving, the good stuff naturally comes to us. So that's my practice today. That's kind of been my theme. And I just wanted to say hello to everybody and to show you guys that it worked. Planted seeds and they grew. And I'm growing too. So thanks for tuning in if you did. Hopefully you found some sort of cool insight with this video. And we'll check back again next time. Bye for now.